Hi, I'd like to take a minute to talk to you about finding and using electronic books at the Long Beach City College libraries. Ebooks, also known as electronic books, are fun to use because you can access them on any computer that has an internet connection. This can help your research move more expeditiously. Ebooks will appear in the online catalog alongside physical books. You can see when an ebook is available because it will be in a different format, and oftentimes will have a View button. The View button will open the ebook in an academic database. If you're interested in finding items that are only ebooks, you can use the ebook limiter to narrow your search. Because many different ebooks are owned by many different companies, there can be many different restrictions to their access. One common restriction is that many ebooks cannot be downloaded in their entirety. This is to prevent piracy. Again, it is often difficult to print out an entire ebook. In some cases, you can print out a range of pages or a chapter at a time. While it may be inconvenient that we cannot download or print out an entire ebook, ebooks have a few features that can be useful. For instance, we can typically search the ebook for terms or phrases by using the search feature. In this case, we can type a term into the search bar and see all of the pages that term appears on. This can help us get an understanding of how many times a concept is discussed or where a certain idea lives inside the book. Part of becoming more acquainted with ebooks is looking at the different organizations and different databases that hold them, and the different tools and restrictions that come with each ebook. Becoming familiar with these intricacies will help you become a better researcher and better able to pull different types of information from different resources.